Hello, this is my review of Sintel, the Sintel DVD from the Blender Institute. If you've been following Blender at all, then you know that Sintel is in fact the latest creation that was done in conjunction with the development of Blender 2.5. And this film is approximately 14.5 minutes long, but the DVD itself is actually quite full-featured, and there's in fact four discs in this set. You'll see the NTSC video, the PAL video, the extra features disc, which has DVD-ROM content that you would play in a web browser, and then finally, which may be of most interest to a lot of people, is the entire film. All the production files are on the final disc. Now, if you live, depending on where you live, either the NTSC version or the PAL version is going to be superfluous to you, but you do have both of them in case. I guess you could give one to your friends in Europe, or if you're in Europe, you give one to your friends in the UK. And but that's it. You have the film, you have a documentary. I believe there's, I haven't had a chance to watch the entire thing, but there may be some extra features like a commentary in there. Film itself, approximately 14.5 or so minutes. And okay, so as far as the story goes, it's very much a, it's in the epic fantasy genre, and has almost kind of like a young adult kind of feel to it, kind of almost like a coming-of-age story about a young girl who befriends a baby dragon, and calamity ensues. It has what I would say is, myself being an American, I would say it has kind of a European sensibility, which makes sense because the makers of Blender are from the Netherlands, and which is not bad. It's just that it's maybe it's maybe more of a kind of a, let's say, downer ending, and kind of has a very heavy feel to it, heavier than maybe some of the other kind of animated films that are directed largely towards a young audience. So if you're looking for a feel-good movie to show your kids, this is probably not it. But if you're looking for something that's technically well done, and definitely you can see that the filmmakers were trying to do something that had weight and seriousness and was a real film in every respect, artistically, technically. And so in that sense, it's very good. If you've seen the other films made by the Blender Institute to help spur on the development of Blender, Elephant's Dream and Big Buck Bunny, Elephant's Dream to me was kind of incomprehensible, and I'm not into art films, so to speak, so that one was only interesting to me because of its relationship to Blender. Big Buck Bunny was quite a fun film. My friends' kids come over and watch it all the time, and they love it. And this one is much more kind of in the middle, let's say. It does have kind of an art film kind of vibe to it, but it's still entertaining enough, and it does have a story, and it has emotion and whatnot. It's just not a crowd-pleasing rah-rah kind of film. Now, as far as the film, the disc itself and the extras, which is probably of the most greatest interest to Blender fans or people who are interested in learning Blender, is that it comes with a documentary. The documentary is quite fine. It kind of outlines the entire history of the creation of the project and all the trials and tribulations that go into it. The disc here, the special features disc, the extras disc here, this one is probably the most useful. Has quite a few online, not online, but some video tutorials, and I haven't watched all of them because there's quite a few of them, but the ones I have watched are very informative. There's a whole section of like the little mini 2-minute tutorials, and I picked up a lot of stuff in there that I had no idea Blender could do, and it's worth it just for this disc alone. And of course, I've just started digging into the data files, but in fact, if you're trying to re-render the entire project on here, which is technically possible, I think that would be quite a chore, but just going in, just delving in here and finding out how they did certain things is quite useful. So, for the fact that the movie itself is quite good and definitely watchable, you can view it online, of course. It's online in several sources for free in HD, but I would suggest that you buy this DVD if you have any interest in animation, or certainly if you are interested in Blender and learning Blender, then you really have no recourse but to buy this because of the fact that it has so much training material on here. It has files on here and assets that you can kind of use in your own projects, or at least reverse engineer into your own projects. And of course, the purchase of things like this helps to fund future Blender development and future films, and so it's almost like a donation, let's say. So that is my review of Sintel. Before Lizzie gives her review of Sintel, the DVD, she would like to explain her review's rating system. So, Lizzie gives a claw rating system. So, 2 claws up is the highest rating you can get. It means that it's an exemplary product and you should get it no matter what. 1 claw up means that even though it's probably a fairly decent product, there may be a few significant flaws. And 1 claw down means that it's probably only worth getting if you really need something in this realm. Maybe if it's a tutorial, for example, on a certain product, and you just have to have every tutorial about that product, then you would get it. And if you get 2 claws down, then of course you should avoid it like the plague. And sometimes Lizzie will give like a little thing extra, like a tail swish or a foot flick or something. So with that said, here's Lizzie's rating for the Sintel DVD. And Lizzie gives Sintel, the DVD, 2 claws up. Woo! And a tail flick. She liked it that much. What do you think, Liz? Oh, she's really into it. So, anyway, hope to see you next time.